Hello everyone, I'm Cloud and welcome to Anime no Mi. We finally have access to chapter 1023 complete, and with all the details of One Piece, and now we know exactly what happened, and let's do a complete analysis of all the battles, and also the big transformation for the battle against Kaido. So I'm counting on your help to leave your like in today's video, and also to subscribe if you're new here and join our crew. So let's go to the video. It all starts with Princess Vivi on top of a large tree branch with some birds in her arms while Karu was screaming below that tree, all of this on the cover of chapter 1023. The chapter already starts with Sanji and Zoro together after having carried out a gigantic attack against King and Queen. That attack created even greater destruction, and now that room was covered in smoke. That made everyone there hopeful. A samurai shouted happy for Zoro's return, and also for the feats of the swordsman alongside the cook with the straw hats. Chopper was also impressed. He saw how all of Zoro's wounds were healed thanks to Mink's knowledge, but Dr. Miyagi had already warned that this would have a future consequence. Meanwhile, the pirates who were together with King and Queen were frightened by what had happened, as they called for them, who were now shown on the ground. Then we see that his allies start trying to hit the Straw Hat Pirates. One of them was aiming directly at Zoro, but before he managed to attack he was stopped by Kawamatsu. We also see Hyagura saying that no one should dare interfere in that confrontation, while we realize that the samurai themselves also wanted to interfere. They say that their combat companions were facing the great stars from the Beast crew, but even so, they say that no one should interfere. After all, in their expressions the Straw Hat Pirates showed that they wanted to win that confrontation alone. In this period we see Marco watching Queen and King and remembering something that had been said to him by Whitebeard in the past. It is said by his former captain that before the time of Marihois, there was a country of deities above the red line. Meanwhile, all that battle continued. Everyone was fighting with everything they had while King and Queen gradually returned to that battle, already saying that there was no possibility of being defeated in that confrontation. Queen attacks with a flash that the two soon managed to dodge, but Sanji goes on to say that there was something strange with his body. Zoro then asks if at some point he'll have to carry the cook around, but Sanji says no. He just says his body feels weird after wearing the combat suit twice. Meanwhile, we see how King was now the one doing attacks, but Zoro manages to hold back his sword blows. So who tries to catch Zoro off guard is Queen, who tries to attack the swordsman with a flaming blow, a blow that is stopped by another flaming attack. This one wants a great kick, which shows us the teamwork of the Straw Hat duo. It is then that Queen goes on to say that he remembered that Sanji and his brothers were cyborgs, and also questioned what Sanji's mechanical legs were like, if he could release flames whenever he wanted. But Sanji's answer was that he was human and not a cyborg, which makes Queen not believe. He says humans can't produce fire. That kind of power was only if Sanji was Lunaria, and while Queen said so, we could see that your sentence caught King's attention. After that, we see Sanji saying that he is capable thanks to his passion, but Queen still doesn't believe and now says that he would show the true power of a perfect cyborg, which not even Vegapunk could create. Zoro and King also continued fighting, but King's sword changes shape, making it possible for the Great Star to take Zoro's swords with his hands. After that, with his own hands he attacked Zoro, who barely managed to escape. The swordsman of the Straw Hat Pirates then said that King's fighting style was curious, and King said he didn't care about that. It wasn't necessary to define a style in a real battle. It is at this moment that Zoro says he realizes that King at no time claimed to be a swordsman, but he also says that he would not follow a pattern. He would do whatever was necessary to beat King. Zoro said he could not lose, no matter what it took to. In the meantime, both Hyogoro and Kawamatsu are watching the battle of Zoro and King. They say that even though he was a swordsman from outside of Wano, he had formidable technique. Not only that, they said that Zoro's fighting style was similar to that of the great swordsman of Wano. They also say that Zoro, being the swordsman who brought Shusui back, the sword of the legendary samurai Ryuma, seemed to have been a choice of fate. After all, the two were also very similar. At this point we go to a different location. Now we see Jack's battle that faced Inuarashi, but now Jack was using his hybrid transformation, where he used swords to attack Inuarashi. However, one of Jack's attacks made Inuarashi manage to grab him and send him away, causing the two to fall in the middle of the room where Ashura was unconscious. There Inuarashi remembers everything that Jack had done in Zoo. He says that now he would ensure that everything was completely different. That's when, taking advantage of the big hole Kaido had left there earlier, Inuarashi manages to perform his Sulong transformation to continue that fight. After that, we go outside Onigashima Castle, in a moment after Nekomamushi's attack on Perospero. We now saw Carrot's desperate look and Wanda's anger as well. That's when we see Nekomamushi approaching Perospero, while saying that he would now avenge Pedro, who previously lost his life. He was now also transforming into his Sulong form, leaving Perospero extremely scared, even before the confrontation started. It turns out that we are now going again to the castle of Onigashima, this time for the continuation of the ninjas' confrontation between Reizo and Fukurokuju, who continued to face each other after the events of the last chapter. Previously Fukurokujo said that ninjas shouldn't fight for Odin, saying they were fighting for a ghost. Now he said that Momonosuke could never lead Wano, however Reizo's response surprises him. As we continued that confrontation, Reizo started to say that he would never underestimate the youth, and that's because people could grow, already being a prologue of what was to happen. Then we go to a completely different place. We leave Onigashima and go straight to Wano where Law's companions were. They were scared about to face a big opponent, an enemy that looked a lot like the leader of the Pirates of the Beasts Kaido. We then see a gigantic dragon that was moving and approaching the leader of the Straw Hat Pirates, Luffy, who watched him calmly questioning if who was in front of him was Momonosuke. After remembering his first encounter with Momonosuke at that time, he realized that this could only be his friend. The answer from the giant was that yes, Momonosuke had now become a gigantic dragon of apparent great power. We also see his furious expression and his excitement when talking with the Straw Hat. After that, everyone who was there are completely scared, wondering if that boy who was beside them a few moments ago had become a great dragon. For Law's companions, this seemed to be something completely unbelievable, but it had happened for this battle that was to come. As you may remember, a few chapters ago Luffy asked Momonosuke to fly with him back to Onigashima. The Straw Hat knew that Momonosuke could do that. After all, he had unconsciously done that on their first date. But since that moment Momonosuke hadn't flown with him once, even though Luffy really wanted to. But now he really decided that the time had come to use the powers he had received from an Akuma no Mi, and so accepts Luffy's request, asking to Shinobu to make him age. Shinobu initially didn't want to accept. She said that even she didn't know what could really happen if they did that, if she really accepted this request, but now we see that it really happened. Shinobu said that just as Momonosuke had asked, she transformed him so that he was now 28 years old, and we can actually see the ninja crying with emotion while seeing little Momonosuke transformed, but we were not shown her appearance apart from hers. Dragon shape. However, she said that Momonosuke was like someone else. The manga didn't tell us who, but possibly he looked like his father, Odin. Luffy then looks at Momonosuke. He was extremely excited as he said that now it was time to take him together to save Wano. Momonosuke then agrees, and now yes, with all these new transformations, we approach the outcome of the Battle of Wano, and we come to the end of today's chapter. Comment below what you think will happen from now on. Soon we will have the arrival of Momonosuke and Luffy at the top where Kaido and Yamato are, and we will also see Yamato seeing in Momonosuke at some point the resemblance to an important figure from the past, possibly Odin. Comments what you think about all this. Don't forget to leave your likes in the video to help the channel, and also subscribe if you're still new here. The channel is new and needs your help. Thank you so much for watching our video so far. Your support is very important. See you in the next video. Bye.